Hey guys, this video is kind of a depressing one, so you have been forewarned. I posted recently about Arrow, this guy right here, who a lot of you have seen, and I had posted that he's having some medical issues and that his future is kind of uncertain right now. So for those of you who were asking a lot of questions and wanted to know more about what is going on with him, that is what this video is about. So bear with me as we dig right in. So Arrow is 4 years old, well, almost 4. He's a Warm Spring Reservation Mustang from Dustin Supa, and he's a pretty great horse. He's fully tip trained. He's had a lot of time put into him, and he is started under saddle as well. He was doing so well that I actually had a lot of people reach out interested in purchasing him. One of them wanted to do a PPE, a pre-purchase exam, which is where we discovered some neurological signs. The first vet we went to understandably didn't really want a lot of videos taken and probably wouldn't appreciate me posting them, so I'm not going to share anything from there, but I might have some footage from the second vet that you guys can look at. So now I'm going to get started answering some of the questions that were asked on my Facebook post. So this person's question was, how did they come to find that he was neurological? He seemed healthy and happy. This is a really good question. My vet was really good about explaining everything she was doing and what she was looking for to diagnose him because I was so confused, thankfully. So I'll try to relay that as best as I can. There were a bunch of different tests we did. The first one that seemed the most noticeable to me was the different walking tests, including a blindfold test, tight turns, and different terrains. That was a toe drag. That's him not really knowing where his feet are.
So in a straight line, I'm just walking a seat as you kind of track in line. You know, you should have 2 lines and should pass the each of them. It's so easy.
So I think one of my questions for that end is like, how do you know the difference between maybe a newer Mustang that's a little uncoordinated, or just not the most coordinated horse, period, to just neurological difference there?
Very, very good question, and it's not an easy one to answer. We'll tease out some things. So we'll do a blindfold test. We'll test him on different surfaces. We'll raise his head. So those things are a little easier to tease out. Just baby incoordination, not having to move their body. Horses, neuro. I'm just gonna lazy too.
Exactly.
So here we're trying to make him turn tightly, but keep going forward.
Okay.
And I'm looking to see him cross over his legs. He's opposite way.
Yeah.
There he was. There we go. That's a little more normal. And then we'll stop him when he's in a weird position, Keely, like we do, and see if he cracks himself or not. So there, Mustangs especially, and ELM res horses, same. Should stand all 4 feet facing the same way, ready to leave, right? That they're prey animals, they should want. So him leaving that, his right hind out to the side, there's a little bit abnormal. He did correct the other 3. Let's go the other way, Keely. Yeah, there you go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And do the same thing on the side. Hard work, huh?
Yeah, that's good. See if he drags his toes.
Yeah, exactly. Looking to see, does he pick his foot up and place it on the... Looks like he might be dragging his left hind, or right hind a little bit more than all the others, but otherwise he's doing pretty good with this.
Good.
So looking to see, does he still track all 4 in one way? Yeah, okay, good boy.
Thank you, though.
Good job.
Yeah, tuck it in.
Yeah. So this takes away his visual compensation. And it's weird, but he's accepted the blindfold, so I don't know why you see my hands.
Good boy.
Walk on.
I know.
Walk on. Good boy. So do you see how he doesn't? That's okay. See how he's like, he's kind of like, whoa. He can't find the ground. He's reaching out and then he's like, okay, the ground's okay. Okay. Definitely worse in the hinds, but also in the fronts.
Yep.
So he's like, oh, there it is. There it is. Good job. Okay.
Good boy.
You can't see her pointing.
Oh, yeah. On my natural.
The horse training is coming in.
You did it!
Reflex testing. Often I'll start with this with most horses, but I figured he might get annoyed and not understand. That's my nose.
So those were some of the more notable parts of the veterinary exam, but they did a lot more than that. They looked into his eyes with a light in a dark room. They did flexing with him with treats. They did a lot of other things, as well as discussed his diet, his muscling, all of that in depth. So they did a really good job examining him. They were so fair to him. And can we just talk about how kind they were in explaining everything? Yeah, I love my vet. Anyways, that aside, they determined that he is grade 2 neurological is what they would put it at. And it's a scale of 5, I believe. 5 being the worst, 0 being no signs at all. And sometimes neurological can be fixed. Sometimes it can't. Sometimes neurological is very dangerous. Sometimes it doesn't affect the horse that much. It's different for every animal, which makes it really difficult. Which leads us to our next question. What causes a horse to become neurological? And what are some of the signs you can notice? He could be selenium deficient or vitamin E deficient or both, and that could cause that issue. And that's the simple solution because you can just put them on selenium and see if it fixes it. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it'll help a little bit. Sometimes you don't notice anything at all. You can also do a bute trial to see if that helps. You can do injections. We didn't really talk that much about injections because that's a further down the line thing, but you can have that done. You can get different types of x-rays done, but it's difficult because the part of the neck that it most likely would be a problem in is C7, which is way deep down in the horse's neck and it's hard to get to, and only certain places have the equipment to even do x-rays on it. So it just gets more complicated. Sometimes you have to lay the horse down and it's just not simple moving forward from this point if it's not a selenium deficiency. So we went ahead at the exam. She recommended to get a selenium vitamin E test done, and so we did. And the test results came back and he is selenium deficient. His vitamin E looked good, but his selenium was like 60 out of 150 or something like that, so less than half. So she recommended putting him on selenium and possibly a bute trial and seeing if he was feeling better on that stuff, but it takes a while to see results and time that unfortunately I don't have. This person asked what other diagnosis may cause this if not a selenium deficiency. So we ruled out vitamin E deficiency, and we also ruled out the possibility of EPM, which is the inflammation of the spinal cord and brain caused by protozoa, which is a parasite, and that is caused from the possum poop stuff. So he doesn't have that. He didn't really have symptoms for it. He wasn't tested for it or anything. The other one could be EHM, which is a disease affecting the brain and spinal cord as a result of EHV-1, which he didn't have any signs of being sick, so that's also off the table. The other one it could be is CVCM, which is cervical vertebral stenotic myelopathy, also known as wobbler syndrome. And that's the compression of the spinal cord in the cervical, the neck, by the vertebrae, which we were talking about C7, and associated soft tissues. So really the only realistic ones that we talked about were the wobbler syndrome or the selenium deficiency, or it could be something completely crazy that's not one of the really common ones. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what it could be. Another question they asked is how long until we know if he's responding to treatment? And that's kind of a tough one, but it could be anywhere from 1 month to 3 months to 6 months to 8 months. We really don't know, and I can also ask that to my vet to clarify. So take a look here at Arrow's feet. They are pointing all different directions. That is a classic sign of neurological disorder.
Amazing.
And I didn't even notice it after
Good boy,
reviewing my
what a
own
good
video.
boy.
So keep a close eye out on your horses, especially if they were out on a range and possibly
What a
didn't
pro.
have
Look at
access
that.
to selenium. And yeah, so definitely consult with your veterinarian if you have any concerns or questions with your own horse. I am not a veterinarian. I am nowhere close to a veterinarian. I probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but this is all my research, what I have learned recently going into this rabbit hole. So if you have further questions about what Arrow needs, how you can help, or if you have thoughts on how to help him, or if you just want to have an open conversation, I am more than happy to talk about it as I'm learning so much about this. So feel free, take a look at my Facebook page, Lydia Dodera's Horse Training, and send me a message if you want to talk about it. So pray for Arrow, pray for me, pray that we find the right situation. Since posting, I've had an overwhelming response from people trying to help him, trying to figure out what they can do for me and for Arrow, and that has just been so touching. So things are looking hopeful for now, but again, thank you guys, and if you have questions, you know where to find me.